Hey YouTube, Ryo here. I wanted to go ahead and make a video kind of encapsulating something that I kind of implied in a couple of my videos. But I know that not everyone's, not everyone watches every one of my videos, so But basically what it was with my sex bot videos and my artificial womb video, where I was talking about those things. The thing is at this point, women are on a timer. Like, basically, they're fighting the clock against when these technologies, come to full fruition. Yeah, we have the sex bots now. Yeah, the artificial womb's being tested as it is. The artificial womb's going to be a while until it's ready to go for regular use. Not to mention we need to test, make sure there's not any issues with it. But still, it's a promising technology. We've already seen that AI is getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So the thing is, we can go ahead and assume that as technology continues to progress, so will AI. So basically now women are having to compete with technology. And it's the first time in their existence that they've had to do so. Men have been competing with technology since technology began, because what is technology? Men were competing with technology for their own lives, as far as war is concerned. Then we had to start competing with technology for jobs. Take a look at the U.S. job market. Where have a lot of the jobs gone? Have they got, you've got jobs that go to other countries because, the labor's cheaper. But then you also have jobs that are being removed because they're being roboticized. You've got robots doing this job. They can do it more efficiently and faster, and with fewer mistakes than if a human does it. There's some things where it still has to be hand done, just because there's a creative art to it and that sort of thing. But even that's starting to kind of get blurred as AI gets smarter. So, and since men in history have been primarily the breadwinners, so they've been the ones with the jobs, that really impacted men hard. We've been seeing this happen throughout history. And not everyone can be an engineer. Not everyone can do maintenance on these machines. Because, honestly, how much maintenance do these machines have? Not much. And then they sit there and they start making machines that can do maintenance on the machines. It's just, they have the machines building the machines. It becomes kind of a cyclic thing. Eventually, you can take out the human element from it. Now, the thing is we've kind of hit that wall as far as screwing over men when it comes to it. So, AI started happening. And women are scared as fuck of AI. The reason why is because when someone sits there and legitimately tries to argue marriage and relationships for guys, what are things that they constantly bring up? Companionship, right? Love. Well, the love thing is subjective. People show love in different ways. Companionship, however, is someone sitting there and listening, conversing with you, giving you advice, so on and so forth. Well, we're getting to the point where AI is getting smart enough to where it's going to kind of catch up to us at that point. At least be a reasonable facsimile. And then if robots can provide sex and reproduction, I want to ask you something. Why would people want to be in relationships with people? I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, you're still going to have your human friends and so on and so forth, but if you can have the perfect partner that's literally custom made for you, so you're not having to rely on just hoping that one's out there and that you just happen to run across them, that out of billions of fucking people, you happen to choose that one. You happen to meet that one in this great wide world of ours. You have that one custom made for you. So, I want to know, where does this go? You know, it's all like, a lot of people are like, well, you know, we need women for the eggs. Well, they've been working on that problem too. You know, they've been going ahead and basically, you can take a basic egg from a mammal, from a primate. And the thing is that egg is very similar to us. And that makes sense. I mean, since we're genetically linked. But when you take all of the genetic material out, all you have left is the shell material, basically. I'm going to keep this as dumbed down as possible. But just like with how they're saying, oh, well, we can go ahead, take the genetic material from one woman's egg and inject it into another woman's egg. Yeah, you're guaranteed to get a girl, but, you know, you're going to get... Well, here's the thing. With men, at that point, not only can you go ahead and get both male and female, but also at the same time, when you're trying to do that, it's not you have to inject it in. The only thing that you would have to inject in is is into the egg itself. And I'm actually kind of curious on something. You know, because, I mean, obviously you don't want to sit there and take the X chromosome side from the male, and then from that same male take the Y chromosome side. You don't want to do that. I mean, that's the same as inbreeding, and there are some known issues that can arise from that. So that would be kind of a bad thing. But at that point, now you're going to go ahead, you're going to have a good genetic mix. You're not going to have, you know, people having so much issue. And you're not going to end up being really shocked at the time of birth. You're going to know exactly what you're getting. So, why would men need women? If these robots can go ahead and provide the one-on-one companionship that friends just can't quite get, you know, that intimacy. And if robots can go ahead and perform reproduction, and if robots can take care of sexual needs, especially if they get to the point where they can, you know, cook and clean and, you know, keep the house tidy, that sort of thing. What use is there? And the same goes for women, you know. I mean, if, you know, you got a robot that can go out and fucking work, you know, she can go ahead and have two robots, one for at home, one to be out constantly fucking working. You know, one consistently bringing home the bread. Why would a woman need a man? And honestly, at this point, I think that's probably the best way to go. The reason why I say that is because at that point, you know? Unless they sit there and pass a law that it's somehow, you're somehow capable of raping a robot. You know, if we start treating robots like living things, then that could end up being an issue. And you know that there are going to be some psychopaths that fucking do that. But I'm talking about as far as the social aspect. What would women have to offer men? Why would men ever want to get married at that point? And here's the thing. Men are going to continue to go into sciences, continue to improve these technologies. So they're going to only go up and up and up. And pretty soon, and the thing is nowadays, I'm pretty sure on, with the people that subscribe to this channel, going to get quite a few people that agree with this statement, but it's not going to be hard to get robots to be better companions than your average day woman. I mean, we're already kind of seeing that with dating sims and that sort of thing, but they're not fully customized, and there's a little bit of a disconnect there. Not to mention, at that point, it's digital as opposed to analog interaction. So what happens when you bridge that gap? What happens when all of a sudden women have to compete with something that is vastly superior? Well, they're going to go ahead and they're going to try to sit there and bitch and whine and piss and moan. Just like what always fucking happens whenever they're told that they're not up to snuff. But the thing is at that point, men won't care. Even the little beta cucks are going to end up seeing, hey, it's cheaper to go ahead and do this. I can get the friendship aspect from my friends, and for the more intimate stuff, I can go ahead and go with a robot that's not going to fucking betray me, that's not going to fucking go out and cheat on me while I'm out working my ass off to fucking earn a paycheck. I can go ahead and reproduce, not have to worry about suddenly losing access to my kids and having to pay alimony and having to pay child support to someone who hates my fucking guts and wants nothing to do with me, but they want everything to do with my money. Quite frankly, women are on a timer. And I can see why there's a lot of women, especially female psychologists, sitting there and saying, oh, this is such a bad thing. Yeah, it's a bad thing for you. It's not a bad thing for men. Men only get a winning scenario out of that. And I remember someone on one of my previous videos that sat there and said, what's a winning scenario for men? There is none. Well, here's your winning scenario. The thing is we've gotten into a certain rut as a culture, whereas if something breaks, unless it's really, really worth it, unless it has sentimental value and so on and so forth, repairing it tends to not be worth it. What do? You replace it. You get the next model. Well, guess what? Ladies, the new model's right around the fucking corner. So you really need to go ahead and start improving our view of your value. And I'm not talking about through whining and pissing and moaning. I'm talking about through action. Stop treating guys like shit. Stop treating us like a fucking utility. Start treating us like actual human fucking beings. If you don't do that, you're not going to have anyone to blame but yourselves when you find yourselves having to go with a digital version of a man, and you sitting there and going, well, why aren't any real men wanting me? Well, because the real men are more interested in the synthetic, because the real women, so-called, which I've already said in previous videos, very few of those left. The real women are going to be vastly inferior to these sex bots and so on and so forth. And as far as the housework is concerned, guys don't have a problem doing housework. What we have a problem doing is going to work to support someone who's staying at home all fucking day or working a little part-time job, working a quarter of the hours that we are, and then them saying for some odd reason that we have to do half of the fucking housework as well. We have to do half of the fucking childcare, even though the vast majority of our time is spent at work. And then the time that we would have to actually relax, to actually unwind, you know, something that's considered healthy for you to do, something that's actually required if you're not going to burn out, that if you're not going to work yourself into an early grave. See, those are the problems. If you're a stay-at-home spouse, your job is to keep the house, is to go ahead and cook, clean, so on and so forth. That is your contribution as far as effort to the to the relationship. That's how you earn your keep. You should never expect a fucking free ride. Now, there are some guys that are willing to go ahead, do the housework and so on and so forth. But there's a caveat. At that point, you're sexually available to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They say go, you go. There are some guys like that. But women tend to fall short on that too. So why would we pass up something that can go ahead, do the cooking, the cleaning, well, at least the vast majority of it, also is always available for our sexual needs, will actually fucking listen and learn about us, and actually remember shit about us, not to use against us later, but to actually learn about us to better make us happy. Why would we pass that up for something that is actively vindictive against us, can easily ruin us with just a few words, is shown to constantly be looking to trade up, yet faults us for ever looking to trade up? Why? I mean, the list goes on and on and on as far as negatives, as far as real women are concerned. When the synthetic becomes superior to the original, why are we going to avoid that? Why are we going to deny that? Why are we not going to take full advantage of that? I mean, hell, if we ever need, real person to real person interaction with a woman, guess what? It's called a prostitute. Wouldn't even have to pay them for sex, because that's the only thing that's illegal about paying for a fucking prostitute, is the fact that you're paying for sex. Now you got some people that sit there and go, oh, well, there's escorts. Well, the thing is escorts, usually they have their price too. But not dogging on escorts. Legitimate work. So it's actually hard to fucking pull that shit off. I actually have the utmost respect both to male and female escorts. Not to mention they have to physically take care of themselves. They can't end up being fucking land whales. Not often, anyway. Because that's a very niche market. Not to mention there's plenty of land whales out there. There's very few tens. So, yeah. I want to know. Give me a reason, a valid fucking reason, why men would not go with sex bots if they can do everything that a woman can do with none of the fucking negatives. I really want to fucking know. Go ahead, let me know down in the comments. What are your thoughts? Because quite frankly, At this point, I'm just sitting there and watching the countdown timer. And I'm laughing my fucking ass off. Have yourselves a nice day. I'll talk to you all later.